Welcome to our next giveaway motorcycle. This is a 2025 Honda CBR650R. If my comment section is to be believed, this is the hidden gem of the not so super sport category. An inline 4 engine, relatively comfortable ergonomics, and a price point that's amenable to a lot of people trying to either size up or buy their first bike. This thing's pretty sweet and has one secret feature that you might not have guessed that makes this thing a really nice ride. But as I mentioned, it's a giveaway bike on YamiNoob.co. We recently wrapped up the MT-07 in March, and this is April's giveaway bike. We're doing a new one every month this year. You're not going to want to miss it. Head over to the website right now, become a member. That's your best way to get locked in for all these giveaway bikes. I've been doing this for over 5.5 years. I've given away like 55 different motorcycles, and I have no plans on stopping. If you become a member right now, you'll lock in your chances to win this bike and all of the future bikes we're doing this year. We got the R9, the CF Moto 675 SS, and maybe even a surprise Panigale or two coming later this year. So head to the website, become a member, and join for the best chance to win. Let's talk over some of the specs and that one killer feature. So in the new category of not so super sport machines, things like the R7, the GSX-8R, and the Daytona 660, this motorcycle is different in that it uses a 4-cylinder engine. The only other bike we consider in this category of not so super sports to use a 4-cylinder is the Kawasaki ZX4RR, and that one's a little bit different because it's tiny and it revs out a bunch. It's more of that classic screaming inline 4. This thing with its 649cc inline 4 dual overhead cam and liquid cooled makes about 94 horsepower at 12,000 RPM and about 47 foot-pounds of torque. Now I will say, having ridden this motorcycle, and you guys will check out my very detailed first ride tomorrow with it, it's pretty docile, it's nice, it makes nice juicy mid-range power, it doesn't really feel overwhelming, and yet it still has a nice top-end rush. It really fits the moment for the new not so super sport motorcycles that are very popular right now. Mated to this motorcycle is a brand new piece of technology called the Honda e-clutch system. As you guys see right here, that's this small piece of mechanical engineering protruding from the clutch basket that actually actuates the clutch on your behalf. Yes, these are two tiny motors that means that this motorcycle can be operated without ever touching the clutch lever. I'm going to show you guys that in detail on my first ride, the studio detailed video, and a dedicated video talking about this e-clutch system, because there's a lot to talk about and a lot to discuss with this thing. Suffice it to say, it's a pretty sophisticated piece of whiz-bangery from Honda, featuring two tiny motors, lots of gears, some magic dust sprinkled over it, and about 7 or 8 different sensors monitoring your every move, making sure it will actuate the clutch on your behalf. The best part is it's physically connected by a cable, so if you don't want to use it, simply pull on the clutch and you're not using the e-clutch system. Truly a game-changing technology, and I don't use that term lightly. You know, we've seen that term bandied about whenever you talk about ride height devices on adventure bikes or cruise control systems and blah, blah, blah. This is genuinely something brand new we've never seen before, and I wouldn't be surprised if Honda starts rolling this out on all their other motorcycles. For 2025, you can only get the CBR650R and the CB650R with the e-clutch mounted onto it. You actually cannot get this motorcycle without an e-clutch. Paired with this engine and the new e-clutch is this steel diamond frame that Honda uses on this machine. This is a diamond shape because it wraps around the engine, cradling the engine. It actually uses it as a suspended stressed member bolted on right there, welded with a pressed piece down here. This is a little bit more rigid than the typical tubular steel frames you'll see in the not so super sport category. Thinking about things like the R7 and the ZX4RR in particular, but this is not your crazy aluminum twin spar frame that's going to be ultra rigid and ultra race ready. This is definitely much more of a street going frame. On top of that, this motorcycle does come in at a portly 466 pounds, making it one of the heaviest bikes in the category, and with that larger, wider engine, it's definitely a full-sized machine. With a seat height of 31.9 inches, though, it is still relatively approachable for the vast majority of riders. You guys will see in my studio video, we do a comprehensive ergonomics check and we really check out how this motorcycle fits. But for now, know that it's a pretty full-size bike and kind of portly. That fits in line with Honda's CBR range for right now. You think about the 500s and the old CBRs in days past, these were always the more heavy, kind of road-oriented, easy-going 4-cylinder bikes. If you want something truly race-ready, Honda sells you double R versions of bikes and even triple R's if you want to go for the Fireblade and go for really top shelf stuff. Let's talk through some of the other updates on this machine, including the new stylistic update, a new TFT, and just how it looks in the cockpit. So you guys can see new for 2025 is this updated fairing, kind of more in line with the CBR1000 and the kind of top shelf sport bikes. A bit to say about the fairings here. You notice those scoops in the front are not exactly functional, but we do see the beautiful 4 pipes down below here. Honda does an amazing job at packaging this inline 4. I think it's one of the best looking stock pipes you can buy. And truly it should be, because you're not gonna be able to get this thing off and do a slip-on. It is a welded system. Here's a slightly closer look at the E-clutch system. As you can tell, still a cable holding that clutch basket in place right there, but the motors down here actuate and open and close the clutch, engage and disengage it rather. It's pretty neat, man, and it's a pretty nicely packaged system. It only slightly protrudes off of the engine right here. You can see it just kind of pops out a little bit. It's pretty non-intrusive. Nice looking swing arm, nice looking rear end on this bike. I like the way that they packaged up the new breadbox system on the exhaust. It actually looks pretty good over here, man. This bike looks really nice from the rear end, and yeah, it looks like a proper sport bike. When you look at this thing going down the road and you hear it, definitely sounds like a real deal sport bike. Checking out the cockpit of the Honda, it is pretty high spec stuff. It looks really nice. We see the Showa single function big piston forks up here. That means rebound and compression are handled independently in the fork leg. Definitely a lower end suspension unit, but it is an upside down unit. This is really what you need for a road going sport bike. Beautiful TFT display. One of the best in the biz. Looks like the Kawasaki one. Nice, simple, easy to read. They didn't reinvent the wheel. I love to see that. You see over here on the left-hand side of the cluster, we have the toggle. And funny enough, Honda finally switched the turn indicators and the horn. They used to have horn down here, turn indicators here, but I guess they flipped it like everybody else. Torque control system right here, high beam, low beam, and this is the clutch lever. You still got it, folks. You can still pull it in. As you can tell, no tension on the lever right now. If we turn the machine on, lovely 4-cylinder comes to life. You can actually go and disengage the E-clutch system. And you guys just saw the clutch lever move over there, did you? Let's try that again, huh? We'll leave it nice and dangling here. Now we're gonna engage it and watch the lever. Or disengage it. Check this out. Moves a little bit. Really freaky stuff. Let's take a listen to the inline 4, just sounds gorgeous. I know many of you are saying, "Am, that needs a pipe. You gotta put a pipe on it," but honestly, we are not gonna be doing that on this machine. It is not worth the effort to completely flash it, remove the whole pipe and do all of that. I'm certainly not gonna do that. Check out the motorcycle from this angle. This CBR looks great, man, look at that. Looks like a real deal sport bike. This is a really good looking machine, dude. I really like this thing. We have some pretty trick braking hardware up here. We have Nissan radial mounted calipers pinching a 310 mil floating disc right there. That's some pretty nice stuff. Going up to the handlebar over here with a axially mounted master cylinder, pushing that way. Feels pretty good though from the lever, got a lot of feel to it. And a cable throttle, what? With the E-clutch and all that, you get a cable throttle. Much to say about that in the dedicated review and the other studio videos. There's a lot of weirdness to this bike that you're not gonna wanna miss me talking about. So boys, there she is, 2025 Honda CBR650R. Super pumped to be doing this one. This is a platform that many of you have talked to me about on YouTube, on the Discord. You guys wanted to see me ride and review this motorcycle. And with the addition of E-clutch, I just knew I had to get it. Seriously, I was really excited to get this bike, really excited to do some extensive testing. We're gonna take it on track, do the E-clutch slow speed, do some comparisons. Lots to talk about this bike, lots to say. Make sure you check it out on yammynoob.co. Become a member today. Don't miss out on your chance to win. We've had so many members on Discord win. It's a lot of fun when someone who's active actually wins. And it could be you, man. Everyone who's won was ever like, I never thought I'd win, and you end up winning, and it's pretty cool. We don't advertise these giveaways on Facebook, on Instagram. We don't do any paid promotions. We literally just have our audience here on YouTube and our email list, and that's about it. So if you're watching this video, you have pretty good odds to win this bike, I'm not gonna lie. Go to the website, check it out. If you don't want to become a member, you can get a hat, a t-shirt, a hoodie. Every dollar you spend will be an entry to win, subject to a multiplier. We got a bunch of really cool new designs right now. We're launching new ones every single month. Make sure you check that out and get entered to win. Thanks so much for checking out today's video. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for the first ride and review, doing a very dedicated, comprehensive video on this motorcycle, getting in the studio, talking all the ins and outs. We're taking it on track and doing the E-Clutch full dedicated testing as well. Make sure you stay tuned for that and don't miss it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Keep watching Yami Noob.